Oh, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation.
Well, contrary to these recent comments from Donald Trump in the Oval Office, the numbers really aren't great. The latest figures from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics show inflation hit 4.2% in May, nearly double pre-Iran war levels. That's a 3-year high. We know by now that the war choked off a key energy supply route and caused oil and gas prices to spike around the world, which pushed up the costs of everything else. Fuel, flights, heating bills, household costs, you name it. But why in the US? After all, hasn't the government made such a big deal about their so-called energy dominance?
And cementing America's status as the #1 energy superpower by far anywhere on earth.
And thank goodness we have a president and an administration that believes in American energy dominance.
Yes, President Trump has got a very clear and a very powerful vision on ways to make America great again, and at the center of that is energy dominance.
Over the last decades, oil and gas production grew steadily to record-breaking levels in 2025. A more than 100% increase in the last 25 years for natural gas, and crude oil production up nearly 130%, mostly thanks to fracking. But here's what it helps to remember. Oil and gas are priced on a global market.
As long as the products are traded in world markets, then the marginal buyer in the world, whoever that is, sets the price for everyone else. And the only differences across space are transportation costs.
The marginal buyer, as in the last buyer in the chain of buyers where supply meets demand. So what he means there is that you pay the world price, give or take the cost of transportation. Where the fuel was drilled hardly matters.
I think of Norway as they don't use much at home and they export a lot, right? Both oil and gas for the last 50 years, and they've never been insulated from world prices.
It's true. Norway has some of the highest fuel prices domestically. And obviously, the kind of energy consumers a country has matters as well.
Rural areas in the US are the most vulnerable to energy price shocks because they travel long distances in low mileage vehicles for every day, and their incomes are lower than urban incomes.
It's also worth noting that because the world supply was cut to such a dramatic extent, the release of 400 million barrels from strategic petroleum reserves around the world hardly moved the needle. Back to Peter Van Doren, who's skeptical in general anyway that reserves do much to help.
I've done work, econometrically, you can show some short-term effect, but again, we're so out of sample here. This shock is big. And so the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve, all the reserves of OECD plus the U.S. are days of consumption for the world. So no, 20% long-term reduction in supply. Does anyone's public reserves, are they going to matter a hoot? And the answer is no, if this really lasts. In short, very short duration things, then economists have shown that they can have an effect, but not that much. And so is it worth it to store publicly? The answer is probably not, but it makes voters feel better.
In any case, few expect the situation to get better quickly, even if the war were to end tomorrow. Remember the Iranian missiles that hit Qatar's Ras Laffan facility in March? Qatar, of course, is the dominant natural gas exporter in the Gulf.
Hey, I'm worried to death about the damage to the Qatar gas complex. The giant LNG refrigeration units are one of a kind. They just don't come off an assembly line. So if everything's fine, the journalistic estimates of 3 to 5 years to get that thing going again up to speed, that's not far off.
Back at the Oval Office, remember when Donald Trump said that he loved inflation? Later he said that what he meant was that he loved that inflation was not higher. But he also said that a military operation is already bringing prices down.
We've been taking out millions of barrels of oil. Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships late at night with no lights because they don't have any radar because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel.
And just like inflation numbers aren't really great, oil prices remain elevated too, still far above where they were before the war began. So what would help bring prices down?
Nothing. There's no, I mean, it's just unpleasant.
High prices and no fix for now. But that's something you're unlikely to hear from the White House.